Hey everybody, it's Eric here at Outdoor Retailer Winter Market in Denver, Colorado. This is 2018 show, and I dropped by some friends of mine here at the Aventura booth to catch up and see what's been going on. I'm here with Tom Williamson and John Kirsch from Aventura, and just kind of curious as to what's up, guys. I haven't seen you since,
Project OR.
Yeah, really, Project OR, which if you're on the channel, you can just scroll down and you're going to find it down there. It's Cycle 7. Tom's in that as well, and so they're up online on the channel. But yeah, we did Project OR together, and that was a fantastic experience on my end.
Yeah, they were pretty fun.
Yeah, and you guys wound up hiring one of our designers for a short period of time.
We did. It was not a winner, but we ended up. Well, her name was Kelsey Moorfield, and she hopped around our booth, and it was kind of funny the way it happened. She walked around the booth, and I guess she called her mom afterwards. She goes, "I found the company I want to work for," and we ended up hiring her after she got done with school. So she's on to different things, and a new mom with 2 young kids, and kind of moved back to Oregon where she's from. But yeah, it's amazing kind of the life cycle of all that.
And then we hired her roommate.
Yes.
So what's been happening in the last 5 years? A little bit more than that, but the last 5 years with Aventura. Like, what's new?
Yeah, you know what? Lots actually. We launched a men's brand called Ecos.
Okay.
The entire brand uses low impact sustainable textiles and/or fair trade. And we also bought a brand called Icelandic Design, which is a Norwegian Icelandic wool sweater company.
Nice.
That sells mostly. It's a single season fall brand that sells into boutique and ski shops. So yeah, we're growing, and Aventura obviously, which is our biggest part of our business, is just found a great place in the specialty outdoor and boutique business, and continues to grow.
So some of the core tenets or core pieces of the Aventura line, corporate, our sustainability, right, and fair trade. Can you talk a little bit about like the ethos that goes in? What helps guide your decisions at Aventura?
I would say it's product first.
Product.
As we were just saying to someone a little earlier, the world's becoming, certainly from a textile standpoint, it's becoming easier for us to source sustainable fibers and fabrics to integrate into our line and still have it be cute, desirable, feel fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The days of something not feeling great and not looking great, but it's sustainable and having it work are, way beyond us. So I would say we're still, very product forward. I don't know if we'll ever be 100%, and we haven't ever made that claim, just because there are some products in our line that make sense for our customer.
Right.
They don't necessarily fit that bill, but the fact that we are close to 75% of our product uses eco-sustainable fibers, and fair trade has been a huge push for us over this last year and a half. We brought on some new factories that are part of fair trade factories, mm-hmm. and we're close to almost 50% of our product within Aventura, and a little over 50% of our product in Ecos that is done in fair trade factories. So those are huge.
That's cool. Yeah, it seems like in some ways it is getting easier to source things in a way that does less harm. That's definitely an issue for a lot. I was just thinking of something and I just lost my mind so I'll have to come back to it. But,
traceability.
My youngest brother Michael joined us in 2012. So that's in the last 6 years. You said 5 years,
yeah.
But he actually works with our factories and travels to almost every factory once or twice a year, and he has really been able to find factories that not only are either GOTS certified or fair trade certified, but factories that are working with European brands that have been there for years in advance of the U.S. market adopting those principles, those ethos. So the fact that we have somebody on the ground looking at we have factory manuals and requirements, and we work with some fantastic factories, not just for the fiber and the labor laws, mm-hmm. but also that that they come to the U.S. and we have dinner with them. They've been to our houses. It is family, family business, all the way to the factory owners that we work with, and that a lot of that is moving to India, which has been great, certainly with the trade war that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But our sourcing has never been better.
That's awesome. About this trade war, has it had an impact on you?
Not yet. The first 50 billion did not affect any of our textiles. The next 250 billion, likewise, has been safe. But there's another 250 billion that is yet to be seen. So.
Oh, okay.
It'll be interesting.
The thing that I forgot earlier was you reminded me of in the Russian military, they have in the Air Force. I don't know what they call the Russian Air Force, but they have this phrase. It's better is the enemy of good enough, and the idea that you would have to be 100% in the business, and what does that last 10% take, to accomplish, and how that's almost as much energy as the first 90%.
Well, the reason we're looking at this holistically is that there's, we give back. We have our Good Sam program that has funded almost 500,000, 400,000 meals through food banks across the country. We work with fair trade certified factories. We work with textiles that are certified, either organically grown farm certified and or yarn certified and or fabric certified. So if we can't be 100% across all three legs of the stool, then we're going to at least have our foot firmly planted in two of those with almost all of our product. And we have to serve a customer that is willing to pay a reasonable price for a product. We're not a boutique high-end couture brand.
Right.
So our product has to fill a price point. So we're going to do the best that we can to bring the best product forward for the price value that they are willing to pay, that they can also feel good about buying.
Cool. It's good to see you guys. It just really, it's been a while.
Hey, we're here in Denver, and we hope this show works. This, we have 3 shows now, and new cycle. So we're open-minded and optimistic. Day 1 of OR is good. Grassroots was great for the majority of the time.
Right.
And so we're looking forward to.
I was completely shocked to find out it moved, and I know the writing had been on the wall, and people had been talking about it for a long time. But knowing what I knew about how deeply Salt Lake City had built itself around the show, I thought something major would have to happen. Obviously, it did. To get everybody to say, we can't do business here anymore.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some inklings over the last 5 to 8 years that there was an itch to kind of move away from Salt Lake City, and I think Salt Lake City did everything they possibly could to keep the show there, but they also didn't want to kowtow to an industry that maybe didn't appreciate what they did for it. So, oftentimes when you blend too much political with business, it's not necessarily the right decision. But change is inevitable, and the show was there for over 20 years. And to go to a new city that is truly about the outdoors as well. I mean, Salt Lake City, Denver, right? They're so similar in kind of the demographics of the makeup of the people with mountains and skiing and biking and so much outdoor activity around it. It's what people strive to do in this state as well as Salt Lake. I think it is natural. So
we're disappointed that Reno didn't get it, and we could have certainly housed this show. We
would have fit.
We went through
this size.
We went through the vetting process and the Q&A that was sent out, talking about who should be involved. I think they interviewed lots of different brands, saying should we have the depth of maybe some of the sourcing aspects that is filling probably a third of this hall, or how many beef jerky companies do we need at the show? Right. And at the same time, we're not super technical, so we could easily be, we could be eliminated because we're not technical enough for the outdoor industry. So, it's a tough call. I think they did a good job. Denver's great.
Probably transportation. I mean, this makes a ton of sense for transportation-wise.
Yeah.
There are so many flights in and out of Denver.
Absolutely.
And obviously the restaurant availability here in downtown Denver is larger than Salt Lake, so people aren't bottled up at dinner, food, and hotels, and a lot of those things are a lot more robust than Surf Salt Lake.
It's a completely different environment. In Salt Lake City, the show was the locals would just stay out of downtown during the show. Yeah. Here, nobody even notices.
I know a lot of people, they're like, what are you here for? I'm like, the outdoor retail, what is that? Right? Yeah. It hasn't been here long enough for them to, they obviously know the economic impact that happens to the city 3 times a year now.
Right.
But, maybe they don't yet. So it's something that they'll know, certainly in the future. So.
Yeah. Well, the outdoor industry, I think it makes up a double-digit percentage of the Colorado state economy. I'm not sure exact numbers, but if you tie in all outdoor activity, it's double-digit percentage of our
economy. If you think about all the outfitters, guides, ski resorts, shops that cater to all that, it's a huge industry.
It's a good fit, but also this is an industry of advocacy, isn't it? I mean, so wouldn't you want to be in a place that's a little bit more receptive to advocacy and doesn't fight it at every step? And, or take offense that we would tell them how to live their life or how to not dig holes in the ground, Right. Didn't we had a big deal at this was almost a decade ago, but over them wanting to put oil pads within sight of Dinosaur National Monument, and finally somebody had to get upset about that. And
we're
stop
dealing
that.
with that right now in the Ruby Mountains. It's crazy. They call it the Alps of the Sierras. So they equate this to the Swiss Alps in the Sierras. It's beautiful. It's the Ruby Mountain Range, and they want to basically allow them to
that's
explore
just
oil.
north of Tahoe, right?
No,
it's near Elko. It's near Elko.
Okay.
It's absolutely amazing, and it's like, what? We got 90% of our land is held by the government, BLM, Forest Service, Fish and Wildlife, whatever. And do they really need to dig holes in the rubies?
Well, yeah. On that note, we had a thing here, Prop 112, that just passed, limiting the oil and gas exploration to 2,500-foot setback. And they put tons of money into trying to get that to fail. And they also put a ballot on that was Amendment 74, which would have paid them for losing money on for their market value. So they wanted us to let them continue what they're doing, but if that didn't work, they wanted to be paid for not being able to do what they were doing. So, and this is after setting up, the reason people hate it in Colorado. I can't speak for other states, but here on the Front Range, the oil companies have not shown any kind of good judgment as to when they put a well pad in. And so and Firestone's a good example of this. There are people who woke up in the morning, looked out the window, and 100 yards out their window is a oil pad. They didn't buy the house with that oil pad there.
If you drive up Highway 25 now, my daughter had gone to Colorado State, over the last 5 years, and you're driving that road constantly. The amount of walls that were put up because they were doing the oil pads and all the oil pumps behind it. I mean, they were just one after another.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah. So. Wyoming used to be a dark state at night, and now no longer. No. Well, guys, it's been great talking with you.
Likewise.
And it's good to see you.
Long time no chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thanks, guys.